Hey lovelies, it's Anne here to deliver a training on how to create and sell a high converting, high ticket offer. So what I'm sharing today can be applied to any offer upwards of around the $3,000 mark. Now, typically my clients charge between $5,000 to $10,000 and up, but this can be applied to coaching offers starting at that $3,000 mark. And in this training, I'm going to cover how to create an irresistible offer, how to price it, and how to double your current sales conversion rates. Okay, so let's get started. Now, have you ever wondered why some coaches succeed while others don't? Right? All coaches have a calling. They have a purpose. They want to fulfill and want to have a big, big impact, right? I've not met one coach, no matter whether they're at 6 figures, 7 figures, 8 figures, wherever they are, that are actually satisfied with the level of impact that they've had, and they want to have more. Yet, so many remain on struggle street, right? In fact, statistically, 89% of coaches don't make a living from their business. So why do you think that is, right? Now, I have a theory. It's because most of them are great coaches, but they are not great business people, right? And they don't know how to create an offer that's so irresistible that it converts incredibly well. Offers so irresistible that they become a no-brainer for prospects to say yes to, right? And business people who are far smarter than I am came up with a lot of what I'm going to be sharing today, right? I just understand the importance of it and how to incorporate it into an offer. And I can share what I've learned, right? So about 4 years ago, when I started my coaching business, I had already learned some very valuable business lessons. My husband and I had a multi-7-figure offline business in the construction industry, and I'd learned the importance of, the basic stuff like niching, packaging and positioning, creating an irresistible offer, and also sales, right? Closing sales. So in that business, we designed and built temperature controlled rooms, right? In the construction industry. The rooms we built stored anything, things ranging from food and drinks through to expensive artwork and even dead bodies, right? Because the rooms were temperature controlled. That was our niche. Although we served a broad range of clients, we only built temperature controlled rooms, and we didn't do other construction, nor did we do repairs or anything else, right? And we priced ourselves as a premium service, only using Australian made building materials, right? And that's how we differentiated ourselves. And what's more, we provided a lifetime guarantee on the workmanship, right? Now, this was unheard of and still isn't common in the construction industry, right? But this is what set us apart from all the other builders who were importing materials from China and essentially only providing at best a 12-month warranty, right? So when I started as a coach, my time was super, super limited, right? As I already had a role in this construction business. Plus, we have a couple of kids, and I'm the carer for my parents who have disabilities. And, they're a little bit older, and we don't have any other family in Australia. So I knew from the start that I could only commit to 2 to 4 hours in this coaching business, right? Whilst I had all these other things going on. And so I only wanted to work with a handful of clients and offer them an exceptional level of service. And that's how it all got started, right? In my first year, I really struggled. I struggled a lot in my coaching business, I came in here thinking it would be a lot easier than it would be because I had all this business experience as well, but it wasn't, right? It was difficult for me to be the face of the brand, which I hadn't been previously. And, social media and online is completely different as well to offline. And so despite having built a successful offline business, I actually felt like an imposter online, right? And so the first year I really struggled. In my second year of business, I, started to get a bit more momentum, but I was still not consistent. I was really still a lot of it was mindset, but I wasn't as consistent as I wanted to be. And I also had a couple of different offers. I was selling business coaching, but also I had an offer just money mindset coaching as well, right? And I was quite unclear on my messaging, and I was quite unclear on my positioning as well on social media and so on. So I was winging it. I was still working with some coaches at that point, but, I wasn't, everything didn't feel fully aligned. By the third year of business, I gained a lot more clarity. I'd worked with a few coaches, and, the thing is, we have our blind spots, right? This is the thing. And I still work with coaches today. So despite having all this knowledge and experience, I still work with coaches today because I have my own blind spots. And I had a lot more clarity by the third year, and, and I really simplified my business even more. And I brought together the two offers and just created one big offer, right? And I learned it was not necessary for me to be like in all the places, because even though I was like determined that I needed to keep my hours down, I was still listening to all the different experts who were telling me all these different things, and that I needed to be in all these different places, and I needed to be omnipresent. And I really honed in on one platform, and that being Facebook. I learned that having a predictable client acquisition system was what I really, really needed, right? And when I was in all the places doing all the things, it was not predictable at all. I was just busy. I was not actually predictably bringing in leads and closing sales. So I mastered that. And I learned that less is more, right? And as a byproduct, it was actually as a byproduct of having to build my coaching business within a few hours a day that I learned how to keep my business really simple. And that has now become my thing, right? And it's a big part of what it is that I coach on too. And that's what I started to, and that's kind of when I started to hit that sort of $50,000 mark as well. And I was doing this working less than 4 hours a day. And I didn't even have a team, right? And I wasn't paying for ads. And it was all entirely organically done. And it was just I could see it all coming together. And more importantly, I was able to also teach this to my clients, right? And my clients were starting to hit consistent 10, 20, 30, and $50,000 months as well, right? And so my personal success, along with my client's success, really helped me to see what the core elements were that were essential for business success, right? Especially online and in the coaching space. And the irresistible offer is one huge aspect of it, right? Which is what I'm going to be talking about today. The other two aspects within my business that I teach are, it's what I call authentic authority acceleration, right? It's how you can be yourself and be the authority and achieve that fast, right? So that's another core aspect of what I teach. And the third aspect is a predictable, organic client acquisition system, right? So this training, I'm just focusing on the irresistible offer component. And when it comes to the offer, it is really, really essential that it ticks 4 boxes, right? Number 1, it has to be relevant. Number 2, it offers a clear promise, right? Number 3, it clearly outlines what your method or process is. And number 4, it appears easy for your clients to get results, right? In order for it to convert really well, it has to tick those 4 boxes, right? An irresistible offer is way more than a course or, you know, something, or even group coaching or even private coaching, right? An irresistible offer has to go above and beyond to deliver on a promise and remove some risks as well, right? The coaching industry has evolved over time, right? And if people don't see the value in what you're offering, regardless of your price point, right? Even if you're cheap as chips, they won't buy it, right? So here's the thing, the coaching industry is one of the fastest growing industries, and it is still unregulated. Anyone can call themselves a coach, right? And sadly, many buyers have been burnt. They've been burnt. They've invested in programs they haven't got results from, and they are super cautious, which is fair enough. So in order for an offer to be irresistible, it has to remove some of the perceived risks associated with investing in a coach. Yeah. And this is exactly why in our construction business, offering a lifetime guarantee on our workmanship made working with us a no-brainer, right? So another example of this, another example of an irresistible offer that I've personally experienced is I bought a mattress, right? Which came with a promise that if I'm not satisfied with the quality of my sleep within the first 30 days. So I bought this mattress, I could bring it home, I could sleep on it for 30 days. So not just test it out for 5 minutes in a store, right? And if I was not happy, I could have it picked up and get my money back. Now that is one irresistible offer, right? And an example of an irresistible offer that a client of mine, Haley, created, it took her clients, it took her, right? She was stuck around that $10,000 month. It took her to $100,000 months, right, in 3 months by creating this offer. And what she said was, I'll help you get fully booked in 90 days or you get your money back, essentially, right? Her wording was slightly different. Obviously, it's her offer, right? How irresistible is that? Yeah. So an irresistible offer converts, right? And it makes it a no-brainer for people to invest. Just by doing this, without improving your sales skills even, you could double your sales conversion rates overnight. The other keys to creating an irresistible offer is to make it super specific, right? This is a really important thing that so many coaches miss because they are so afraid, right? Wishy-washy, vague promises won't cut it. They won't. It's very likely, if you really believe you've got a great offer, that your promise is just not specific enough. Yeah. So let me share an example. Let's say that you are a dating coach, right? I'm going to share about how specific you can get. Let's just say you're a dating coach. Chances are you have a pretty good idea how to help single people to find love, right? You're a dating coach. Now, imagine how much more irresistible your offer will be if you could say that you helped women to find love compared to just people, single people. Now imagine how much more irresistible your offer will be if you helped divorced women to find love, right? Now imagine how much more irresistible your offer will be if you helped divorced women over 40 to find love. Now, these women over 40 who are divorced are really going to start noticing your offer, right? And they're going to think, that's exactly what I want. So let's take that one step further. How much more irresistible will your offer be if you could help divorced women over 40 to find love within, let's say, 90 days? Now imagine how much more irresistible your offer will be if you help divorced mums over 40 to find love within 90 days without using a dating app. Specific. Like the more specific you can get, the better, right? So many coaches worry about this, right? About niching too much. Every single one of my clients have resisted niching when they've started working with me. Everyone. I resisted this in the beginning, yeah? And it was really in year 3 that I niched right into helping coaches, because I'd had so much success myself. And I discovered, like, I work with everyone and anyone in the first couple of years, but I discovered that I was really able to help coaches best because I was a coach, so I knew what they were going through, right? Yeah, for the first 2 years, I just helped female entrepreneurs, right? So what's more, your offer has to be really results focused. The biggest mistake, again, that I see coaches make is they sell their modality, right? What they are good at, and not the actual results that they get for their clients. An example of this, they sell Reiki, they sell hypnosis, right? But not the results that the Reiki or the hypnosis will actually deliver for their clients. That's a big mistake, right? And the more tangible the results you can get for your clients, or you can tell them that you can get for them, the better, right? And I do understand that in some coaching niches, like let's generally say life coaching, it may be more difficult to measure the results, right? But if you really put some thought into this, it is possible. You can take the intangible and make it more tangible, right? It's worth doing this. It really is worth doing this. And if you, let's say, are coaching on confidence, think about it. What specifically will that confidence allow your clients to do? Will they be able to deliver a 30-minute talk, TED talk? Will they be able to close more sales and reach $10,000 a month and do it on a webinar, right? get specific, measurable, tangible results, right? Your offer also has to differentiate you from every other coach, right? There are so many coaches out there, but guys, the industry is huge. There is room for us all, but we still need to differentiate ourselves, right? So we don't sound like every other coach that's out there. So in the dating example that I shared before, how I differentiated myself is by saying without going on dating apps, because let's face it, that's what most dating coaches would probably recommend, right? So you've got to be different, and that's what sells too. So with my offer, right, I talk about helping coaches to reach $30,000 months within 120 days without hustling, without Facebook ads, and without needing a large audience, right? So that's how I differentiate myself. I'm not saying you've got to work for 40 hours and 60 hours a week. I'm saying it's possible to do it in 2 to 4 hours a day. I'm not saying you've got to go and spend, hundreds of thousands of dollars on Facebook ads. Facebook ads work, right? They do work, but you don't need that till you reach that $20,000, $30,000 mark. And with high ticket, you don't need a large audience. You just don't need a large audience. You need an irresistible offer, right? And now I'm not the only coach online teaching clients how to reach $30,000 months, right? There are many coaches doing that, but they're not doing it the way I do it, right? By others, but they're teaching, how to do it with ads, or how to do it, how you need to be omnipresent, or how you can be successful on YouTube or something else, right? Or how to build a team in order to reach $30,000 months. So the key to positioning is differentiating yourself from your competitors, right? And committing to a duration for that result is also a really cool thing to be able to do. Yeah, because imagine this, right? Say I'm a weight loss coach and I'll help you to lose 10 pounds one day. How does that sound compared to I'll help you to lose 10 pounds in 28 days? Right? And when I meant one day, I don't mean in one day, as in 24 hours. I mean someday, yeah, where you don't actually give them a duration. So the final part is, if you can back your offer with a guarantee, that's when the value of your offer will outweigh any perceived risk, right? Now, when it comes to these guarantees, I'm not a fan of unconditional money back guarantees in the coaching industry, right? As that doesn't challenge our clients to step out of their comfort zone. And people don't fully commit to doing the work either, because they think they can just get their money back. Yeah. So a conditional guarantee is what I recommend. So what that looks like is when you say, if you show up to all the coaching sessions and take action and don't get the promised result, then I'll give you your money back. Yeah, that's reasonable, right? I'd do that, right? An alternative, which I also offer, is if you show up for your investment and actually ask for help. So I don't say you have to turn up to every single coaching session. I don't say you have to take action consistently daily, and if you miss anything and blah, 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 then the guarantee is void. but I do, because I understand life happens, right? So, but I say, if you show up for your investment and ask for help when you need it and you don't get the promised result, I will continue to work with you until you do, right? I will still, if someone fully showed up and turned up to all the coaching and did all the things and didn't make their money back, I would absolutely offer them a refund too. Yeah, I have no hesitation. But I know that not everyone can commit to that level of, you know, showing up, right? I'm not afraid to offer the money back guarantee, because I know if people show up and they take the action that I suggest, they will get the results, right? I know with every ounce of my being that my strategies will get them results. But the reality is that life happens, people miss coaching sessions, our egos get in the way, our conscious mind will say, oh, but Anne, I really don't want to do it that way. I'd like to do it this way. And, you know, I don't sell cookie cutter solutions, right? And I will find a way to make it work with that compromise. But then I can't also give a money back guarantee, but I will offer them a time guarantee, you know, as long as they're showing up, as long as they're doing the work, as long as they're asking for help, I will continue to work with them till they get their ROI. Yeah. So the biggest concern, guys, the biggest concern that our prospects have is, what if it doesn't work for me, right? So if you can reduce that risk for them by offering them some kind of a guarantee, whether conditional or unconditional, then you've created a no-brainer offer, right? Cool. I hope that all made sense. Please let me know if you have any questions. Now, let's move on to pricing your offer. Yeah. This is probably the most common question that I get asked. And it's not the easiest question for me to answer, but I'm going to be sharing some principles now, which are going to help. So when it comes to pricing, it all depends on how big a problem you are solving and what you promise your clients will achieve after they work with you, right? Now, high value problems impact someone's life or business and stops them from being successful, right? And can cost them a lot emotionally and physically, right? So in the dating space, it may not be actually costing them to remain single, but it's costing, you know, costing them money, but it's costing them emotionally, right? As they're lonely. And maybe they feel like their biological clock is ticking, right? So, or it could actually be financially costing them because, you know, covering all the living expenses alone is more expensive than if you were living with someone else, right? So this is how to look at things. In the health space, let's say you're struggling with anxiety, and that anxiety is stopping you from being able to hold down a job. Now, that's costing them emotionally and financially as well, right? If they can't hold on to their job because their anxiety gets the better of them and they don't show up, or they show up and they have to leave, or whatever it is, right? And in the money-making space, which is where I coach, if someone hasn't cracked the code on how to make money, on how to generate leads, on how to close sales, that kind of thing, right? They're not going to be bringing in the income, and it's going to be costing them. It's going to cost them money to stay stuck, right? It's called the opportunity cost. So I speak to coaches who've been in business for years and not made the level of income that they desire, right? They might be making a couple of $1,000s here and there, and they really want to be making $10,000 a month because that's what will give them the level of impact that they desire and also the lifestyle that they desire. But they're stuck around the $2,000 a month, let's say, right? It's actually the opportunity cost. It's costing them $8,000 every month that they remain stuck. Yeah. So there is a cost. There's a cost to inaction, to remaining stuck. So when it comes to pricing, a rule of thumb that I use is if your offer is actually worth 10 times what you are charging, then it's a no-brainer offer, right? The thing we have to remember is that our coaching lasts way beyond the time that we actually spend with our clients. So it's not just a 3-month. It's, the coaching that we deliver might be over a 3-month period, but the benefits, the value lasts way longer, right? Whether it's 3 months or 12 months that the coaching container is, the benefits and the value is uncapped. Yeah. There's a lifetime value associated with coaching. So what my clients learn, they can apply to their business for years to come, right? So another aspect to look at with your pricing is, what are you actually including in your offer as well? Because that comes into play. For example, the more one-on-one that you include, the more you can charge. The more done-for-you services you include, the higher your price will be. Yeah. So these are all the pieces that come together to create your price. And the final piece around pricing is, how much social proof do you have that your offer works, right? There's no better marketing for your business, nor is there any question of the value when you can demonstrate your clients are getting incredible results, right? So for example, in my business, if you check out my client testimonials, you'll see, that Hayley, who was stuck at around the $10,000 a month, made $50,000 months in 7 weeks. Yeah. Riley told me just yesterday, she was stuck around the $5,000-$10,000 months. She got to $30,000 months. And yesterday she shared with me, she's just cracked her first $50,000 month, which is incredible, right? She's a mum with 3 young kids. Hayley also is a mum with 2 young kids. They are building their business in a few hours a day. They both were hustling and struggling. They both reached that burnout point when they came to see me, and they're both brilliant coaches, by the way, brilliant coaches. They just needed some help with the strategy, and that's what gave them both that breakthrough. Tanya, she was charging low ticket, and she reached her first $30,000 a month within 4 to 6 weeks of working with me. Who else is there? Verity, Rebecca, Danielle. I've got so many testimonials from these ladies who were either charging very, very low ticket, just struggling with inconsistency, and were hustling for very little return, and they've all had major breakthroughs of 10K, 20K months, and so on, right? You can just check out those testimonials. And all of these women, right, look at the investment that they made to work with me as a no-brainer compared to the return that they've made. So the key to your pricing right? Is factoring all of that in. All of that comes into play. Yeah, so it's really hard. I can help my clients with this because I know them so much better. Yeah, but it's really hard for me to sort of answer that question for someone I don't know as well, because there are so many different factors that come into play. And finally, as I wrap up this training, because I wanted to keep it quite short, when it comes to doubling your sales conversion rates, if you just implement what I've shared so far in this training, that will do the heavy lifting for you, right? And without going into the ins and the outs of how to ask the right questions and the sales conversations and all of those sorts of things, right? Because that's not what this training is about. The key is to sell your offer by highlighting the core elements that make it unique, right? It's not just about the features. It's not about how many private coaching sessions you include, or what time the calls are at, or, you know, your Reiki or your hypnosis and the modalities and all the things, right? It's about the benefits. So earlier I mentioned there are 3 core elements to my offer, right? One is creating an irresistible high-ticket offer. 2 is my authentic authority accelerator method. So how to, which, you know, I go into this in a little bit more detail in the sales conversation. And the 3rd element is my predictable organic client acquisition system, right? So think about this for your business. What are the core elements of your offer? It could be 2 or 3 or 4 core elements, right? It's not your entire offer. We don't want to be selling, you know, talking about the whole offer, because that's just too much. What are the core elements, right? If you know your niche really well, you will know what they want. See, I know that my target market, my ideal clients, are often stuck between that $2,000 to $10,000 mark, right? And they want to have more impact. So those at the $2,000 mark often want to get to the $10,000 mark, and those at the $10,000 mark often want to get to the $30,000 and $50,000 mark, right? So I know the offer piece, the irresistible offer piece, is something we have to work on so they can close more sales, right? And attract more premium buyers. We have to build their authentic brand and position them as an authority. And we need to do that fast, right? Because everybody wants fast. So they can take a prospect from cold to sold in just a matter of days. And this is what I teach. And I know my clients need a predictable organic client acquisition system. They don't want inconsistency. They want to be consistent, right? They want consistent income so they can scale without paying for ads, which can become a money pit, quite honestly. You know, I've dabbled in ads and it can become a money pit. So, you know, so they know what they're doing. The key here is to simplify what is a big problem for your prospects into an easy, understandable solution. A confused mind will not buy, right? If you don't simplify your offer and clearly articulate how your prospects will get results, they will not buy, right? No matter how amazing your pricing is, no matter how amazing your offer is. So that is essentially it, lovelies. I'm going to leave it at that. Please let me know if you have any questions at all. Book a call if you'd like to learn more about the work that I do. But otherwise, in this training, I have shared, like, this is training that I deliver to my clients, right? You now know how to create an irresistible offer, how you can price it, and how you can double your sales conversions, right? Watch this training again if you need to, and reach out if you'd like to find out more. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.